This lesson is on decimal place value. Decimals are numbers that are to the right of the ones place, and they are less than one whole. If you think about money, anything less than $1 is to the right of the decimal point when we write it as money. The decimal point is represented by a dot to separate the ones place from the tenths place. Here we have a whole rectangle, and we have some parts colored in red. So we are going to look at this and write it as a fraction and as a decimal. First, I need to know how many parts there are total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to write it as something over 10 as a fraction. And I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I were to write this as a decimal, I'm going to say I have 0 wholes, the decimal point, and I see it's in the tenths place, which is the first place after the decimal, and I'm going to write 6. So both of these are equivalent. One of them is a fraction form, one is a decimal form. So we say 6 tenths. Notice there's a THS on the end. Here we see some green squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We see 8 green squares out of 100. So we will write it as 8 out of 100 as a fraction. Remember, the top number tells you what you have in a fraction. The bottom number tells you how many are in a whole. In order to write this as a decimal, we have to know the place value. We know we don't have any whole numbers, so 0, the decimal. We don't have any tenths because we don't have 10, so that is going to be a 0 in the tenths place. And we have 8 in the hundredths place. We say 8 hundredths. Again, notice the THS. The THS always tells us it's a place value in the decimals. Here we have 1,000 tiny little rectangles. We have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 parts, plus a little bit more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we see 185 of those rectangles are colored yellow. So we're going to write, we have 185 yellow rectangles out of, how many were in this hole? You're right, 1,000. As a decimal, we need to think of our place value. We have 0 whole numbers, because the whole thing is not filled up, and we have 185 thousandths. Now that looks a little confusing, but let's think about this. Here's the tenths place. This is really 1/10. If we were to split this into rows or columns, rows, we would have 10 rows. So we did fill up 1/10. The next number is the hundredths, the 8. Let me change to a black. 8 means we have a total of 18 hundredths. So if we colored every little square in, there are 10 here, and then we counted 8 more here, and there's your 18 hundredths. The last place value is the thousandths, and we have 185 thousandths. And if you counted every little rectangle, you would see 185. This is a chart I'd like you to stop the video and to put into your notes, and then we're going to talk about some similarities we see here. One thing I notice is the numbers have the same words. For example, this place value right here is called the tens, and this place value right here is called the tenths. It just has a THS on the end. Here we have the hundreds, and here's the hundredths. Thousands, and here's the thousandths. What's this place value in front of the thousands? You're right, it's the 10,000s. And that matches to the 10,000ths. So that's another way we can start to remember our place value of decimals, is by thinking backwards from our whole number place values. Here's another chart that kind of shows the same thing. You don't have to copy all of this down, but you notice that the ones and the decimal kind of stay together. And we have the tens and the tenths, hundreds and hundredths, thousands and thousandths, 10,000s and 10,000ths, 100,000s and 100,000ths, millions and millionths. And it keeps expanding, one to the left and one to the right. Let's go through some word forms. Anytime we say the word and is going to be our decimal. So we're going to split this right there, and we're going to say everything to the left, in this case 24. Then we look at our decimal, which is the word and then we have an 8. But we're not done here yet. We have to tell what place value the 8 ends in. In this case, it ends in the first place value, which is the tenths. The next one we have, if you want to, go ahead and draw a line there because it might help you to separate and put the word and in. We have 9 and then we have a 3. The 3 doesn't end in the tenths place, but it ends in the hundredths place. And the last one we have here is 12, and this one's a little tougher. Think of reading all three of those numbers together. 593, and we end in the thousandths place. Let's write some standard form. Standard form is how numbers are written. I see I have an and here. So I'm going to write everything before it, 17, and then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say tenths. That means I only need one spot here, and that 3 fills it in. So there is 17 and 3/10. Here's an and, so we're going to write the number 4, and then this says thousands. Oh, I know that I need more than one spot. Tenths, hundredths, thousands. And since the number is 8, that's a single digit. It has to go all the way down here in thousandths. What do we have to fill into the other blanks? You're right, zeros. So there's 4 and 8 thousandths. Here we have 63 and I see we're in hundredths, so that's tenths, hundredths, and the number 17. Well, that's 2 digits, so that fits in there just right. Expanded form is just the same. It's the same as with whole numbers. We're just going to use some decimals. You always start with the largest place value, in this case the 2, and that's in the tens place value, so 2 times 10 is 20, plus, and then we use the 4, and that's in the 1 spot, 4, plus, and we see the 8 is in the 10th spot, so we're going to write 8 tenths. The next one, 9 is just in the whole numbers, so we have 9, plus, and we really don't have to worry about that 0, it's just a placeholder, but we have a 3 in the hundredths spot. Notice it's 2 spots away, so I know 2 spots have to be there. And the last one, don't forget you have to break up the 12, so that's 10 plus 2 plus 5 is in the 10th spot, so we have 5/10 plus 9 in the hundredths, and that's 2 spots, tenths, hundredths, plus 3 in the thousandths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and there's your expanded form. Write the following for the number 34 and 79 hundredths. I want the word form and the expanded form. And then for number 3 and 4, use that example in order to write that into your notes. Bring these back to class, and we'll discuss these over the next few days.